recent past president, Helen Lowe.
Yay! Mr. Toastmaster Doug. Last week, our theme here in this meeting was language. And Bruno actually mentioned if he had to learn one language, which would it be? And he had mentioned Mandarin. And he said learning Mandarin would help him professionally. These days, since China is a powerhouse in our global economy, I think it's beneficial for people to learn Chinese. Knowing Chinese could help you be more marketable professionally. It would help you when you're traveling worldwide not to be antagonized because you do not know the language. And when you're buying all those products that are made in China, it might help you to learn Chinese so you could see what the tag is saying. With that in mind, I would like to show you how to write a few simple Chinese characters. Let me give you a little bit of background. The spoken Chinese language has many dialects, over hundreds, and some of the dialects sound completely different that we can't even understand each other. But the Chinese writing, there's only one basic form. But today, that basic form has two branches, the traditional and the simplified, which is used in parts of China. So when two Chinese people get together and they speak completely different dialects and can't understand each other, they can always write it down. And it's like, here, look. And then the person looking at the words, oh, okay, now I understand you. My Chinese language proficiency is limited because I only finished second grade in Taiwan and then I moved to the U.S. I'm definitely not an expert, so don't ask me too much, but I can show you how to write a few basic characters and give you a chance to practice today. First of all, I brought a book, a Chinese book to show you. See, an English book, this would be the front of your book, right? You open it this way. But a Chinese book, this is the front of our book. This is actually a Chinese Bible a friend bought me when she was in Taiwan. You open it from this side, and we read from top to bottom vertically, and we read from right to left instead of starting from the left to right. So I wanted to show you that. And Chinese characters they're called logograms. It's more of a symbol rather than that represent a concept rather than a sound. We don't have an alphabet, and some of the characters originated from pictures or pictograms. I'm going to show you an example of a pictogram in a minute. In Chinese writing, a person, they basically have to memorize the characters. And there's literally thousands and thousands of characters. Some of them are not used very much, but the ones that are used frequently, a person basically has to memorize all those characters in order to read the newspaper or read anything. So I think Chinese people actually have pretty good memories because they have to memorize all those characters to read. And Chinese characters are also used in some other Asian languages, such as you'll see some Chinese characters in Japanese and Korean. So sometimes I could read a little bit of Japanese because I recognize the Chinese characters. So on your sheet of paper I have given you, you have squares. So when we learn how to write a character, we had to write it inside that square. So when I was in first and second grade, we were given sheets this long and with lots of squares. And when we learned to write a character, we had to write it about 50 to 100 times in order to memorize it. And then we were tested on it. So with that, I'm going to go to the board and I'm going to show you some Chinese words. First of all, here's the pictogram for sun. The word sun. It originated, maybe with a drawing of a sun. You had a sun. And simplify the drawing to look like this. And then maybe eventually became this. And then it came to be like this. So our word for sun today in Chinese is this. It's called 日. So that's how a pictogram evolved into a word. And now I'm going to teach you how to write 1 through 10 in Chinese. So it's very easy. The character for 1 is just one line. And this is 2. This is 3. Pretty easy so far, right? It gets a little harder, okay? So that's 1, 2, 3. And 4 is this. Okay, watch how I did it. I start here, and I went down, and there's a curve here, and then I close the box. It's very important you do it exactly in this order. When we learn to write, there's a correct way of the strokes. If you do your strokes out of order, you're like an illiterate person. So you don't want to be illiterate. Okay, so the word for number 5, you start with a line, and you go like this, and then you bring a line down, and then you go across. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The word for number 6 is, okay, I'm kind of running out of time. 6 is this. Okay, 7 is this. Okay, 8 is a thing like this, and then a thing going like this. Okay, 9 is you go like this. And 10 is just like a, it's easy. So when we put numbers together, the word for 31, you put 3 and 10 and 1. So those three characters are 31. That's how we put some of our numbers together. And I wanted to show you the word for good. I'm going to give you a website so you could go to it later to practice. This is the word for good. This, sometimes there's different parts. This part means female or woman, and this one means child. So maybe that's how the meaning of good originates, like a family. You have a woman and a child. And then the word for, this one's tougher. I don't expect you to, you could go to the website I'll show you later. They actually show this online. This is a word for I love you. This is I, and this is love, and this is you. And it's very interesting because in the word love, this little part by itself means heart. So certain words, you'll see little roots in there, how the word was put together. So to get more practice, I found a website, a link on your paper, dictionary.writtenchinese.com. You could put in any English word. It'll come up with a Chinese word. You could click on the button to hear how the word is said, and then they'll show you how to write it. So to get more practice, I definitely recommend you go to that link. So that's my presentation today. Thank you.